This is the Elite Force M4 SOPMOD by VFC, and while it may look a little basic on the outside, it's actually got a couple of really neat tricks up its sleeve that makes it highly customizable. So let's take this rifle and transform it in two completely different ways. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane and welcome to the BB Warrior. This channel is all about helping you to have the most fun possible on the airsoft field, and today we're talking rifles and how I would love to set them up. Now, these style of rifles with the old school quad Picatinny rails are honestly one of my favorites. A lot of players have moved on to M-LOK or Keymod, but I still think that these older school rifles look amazing, and today we're going to build them out in two completely different ways. Now, this rifle by VFC is extremely sturdy. It has the Avalon internals in it, so you know it shoots fantastic as well. But let's actually get into today's builds, going from something that's a little bit more old school, and then we'll do a more modern kind of special forces type of build with this rifle. So we're going from a base build of this from VFC to, well, something that looks like this. This is my iteration of a infantry style rifle using the M4 SOPMOD by VFC. I wanted to keep it simple, but made sure that it still had a lot of functionality to it. So let's talk about what is on this rifle. Now, I did decide to keep the standard crane stock for both the builds we're going to feature today because the battery space is just amazing. Being able to have a couple of different batteries in the gun so I don't need to pull anything out of my backpack or out of my kit is really, really useful during long games like Milsim West. Now, moving up the rifle, I did decide to put a M68 CCO style optic on here to kind of give it that infantry vibe. Now, these are originally made by Aimpoint. Mine here is made by Primary Arms. It's a replica of it that's very nice. It's rated for real steel firearms, and it's been a high quality red dot for me. Behind that, I have a MA Tech rear sight. These were seen a lot with 10th Mountain Division, so I thought it'd go along great with the infantry theme. Moving up on the quad rail, I did decide to put one of the included protectors on the left side here, just because this rail can be a little bit sharp and can scratch up your hands if you're not wearing gloves. And then on the other side, I have a Surefire 962V, I believe this is, replica from Night Evolution, I believe is the company. This was a super commonly issued out flashlight, and something that I really like about it is that it is just gigantic, kind of goes with the infantry look on there. The nice thing about these is these do have a pressure switch on the back of the flashlight to illuminate it, or I have a pressure switch that is hiding on the other side of the rifle, which is tucked in below this protector right here for your hands. I did put a classic Knights style foregrip on the front, again just going with that infantry aesthetic, and then a standard bird cage on the end of this 14.5-inch barrel, excuse me. To feed it, I wanted to go with just standard metal mid caps. I thought that this would be the most accurate for an infantry kit, but this is, you know, what you'd expect from a rifle like this. Something that's a little bit older looking, again, sort of that infantry vibe. But something that I really like about this rifle from Elite Force is that it is highly customizable with some ways that really you don't see in a lot of airsoft guns. So let's give this airsoft gun a transformation once again into something a little bit more high speed. One of the unique things about the Elite Force M4 SOPMOD is that it has a two-piece barrel, which means that you can go from that more traditional and classic 14.5-inch barrel into something a little bit shorter like this model. And I decided to use that to not only put a suppressor on there, but to build an old school Mark 18 Mod O. This is what you'd see with a ton of special forces before they started going over to the 416, to the SIG MCX. And this is just a beautiful 10.5-inch carbine. Now, working our way from the back forward like last time, kept the standard crane stock, the standard pistol grip, because those would be correct for that era. I did swap out our rear sight from a MA Tech to a Knights Armament 600 meter style. These were super commonly seen and they're incredibly widely available. If you want to pick up real ones, they're easy to find, and there's tons of airsoft replicas as well. I am a huge Aimpoint fanboy, so I have an Aimpoint Comp M4 on here. An EOTech, a T1 would also be at home on this sort of build, but I just really love these and I had it on hand. Moving up to the front, I decided to get rid of that big chunky Surefire and put a Bravo PEC 15 on there. This not only gives me a laser, gives me an IR laser and a flashlight all built in one, and it has a pressure pad if I want to use that. I still have the rail covers on here because it provides a little bit of comfort for the rail. And I decided to go with something that isn't super kosher for a Special Forces build, but it's something specifically for airsoft that I love, and that is the PTS Enhanced Polymer Foregrip. This has a little space on the inside. You can put batteries, little Skittles, whatever your heart desires in there. So I really just love that. And up front, I do have the Ace-Tech AT1000 tracer unit. I love this because it has that old school look of being like one of those big beefy suppressors, but at the same time, it has the functionality of being a tracer unit. It's incredibly bright. It works fantastically. And the magazine for this was actually really cool, and I found it in storage. If you've been playing airsoft for a while, you might recognize this. This is a PTS E-Mag. I thought that, if we're going with the old school cool aesthetic for this build, more of a Special Forces thing, E-Mags were super popular. If you don't know what this is, this was the EPM1 before EPMs were a thing. This was like the cool, best magazine to have way back in the day, and you really just can't find them anymore. They're basically worth their weight in gold. But yeah, this is my rendition if I was going to build a Special Forces sort of rifle with the M4 SOPMOD from Elite Force. I think that this is just a rock solid rifle, and I'm glad that they offer something like this that is more of an old school option if you don't want M-Lock, maybe you're doing an impression, whatever it may be. These styles of rifles are still super commonly out there. Not only is the infantry using them, but Special Forces around the world are, and I'm glad that somebody makes an incredibly high quality replica of them. And this isn't a review of this rifle, that is still yet to come, but this is fantastic. And if you want to pick this up, I will have a link to it on Elite Force's website down in the description. But that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this gun build, there are plenty of other fantastic airsoft videos on the channel that you should check out, like this one, or maybe even this playlist here, or consider subscribing. But my name is Lane, and I'm going to go play around with this cool new M4 that I just built. Thank you all so much for watching.